It's Wednesday the 16th of May. Here are the headlines. New energy plant for the island is announced. It's a UK first. Police ask, were you on the number 9 as officers investigate assault? Cowes lifeboat rescues couple as yacht takes on water. And freight firm in talks to take on Cowes Week sponsorship. Good evening, welcome to the programme. This is Solent Tonight. The Isle of Wight is to become the first place in the whole of the UK to use a new, greener way of producing energy from rubbish. The process, known as gasification, works by heating waste rather than burning it. The resulting cleaner energy will then be used to power thousands of homes across the island. Solent Tonight's Michael Coombs reports.
From waste to watts. It's a UK first and an island first. The television you're watching now could soon be powered from last night's pizza packaging, and it's all thanks to a process called gasification. And here's how it works. Our rubbish is first separated into categories on these conveyor belts. It's then pumped through a number of crushers and shredders. And once the waste has gone through this whole system, it's turned into steam, and it's pumped through this pipe right here. And this is where the steam will eventually end up, powering things like our kettles and our toasters. So rather than burning waste like incineration, gasification heats it. The method is the first of its kind in the country, and officials say it's a much greener way of producing energy from waste.
Something we'd throw away that will go into a landfill site will now come here and will power about 4,000 homes. So that's quite a big input into the island's power supply.
And that input is just the start. Already officials are looking into extending the process with the aim to power even more homes on the island.
But in future years it would be great if we could expand the facility. But there are other ways, of being green, and we are looking at a complete agenda for that. And I'll be producing a plan which will go before Cabinet in a couple of months' time, which will look at all the various initiatives that we can put into place, not only just in terms of renewable energy, but in terms of recycling, in terms of reducing energy in homes and giving people incentives to do that, using less transport, cars and things, all sorts of things. So it's part of the green agenda that we are pursuing, very, very effectively at the moment.
In total, 60,000 tonnes of waste will be converted here into energy. The plant is expected to be fully operational by February 2008. Michael Coombs for Solent Tonight on the outskirts of Newport.
Well, Michael joins us in the studio now with more. Michael, as you mentioned there, it's a first in the UK. Why is it so important?
Very simply, Chris, it's so important because we're talking about rubbish which up until now we haven't been able to recycle. Let's give you a few examples. It's products like these. Now, the clear plastic you can recycle. The coloured plastic on the top, it's a no-no. So what do we do with it? Well, we put it straight in the bin and forget about it. The same with coloured plastics. Here we go, that's shampoo. We wash our hair. When it's empty, we forget about it and it goes in the bin. What happens to it? Well, have a look at these pictures, because that's our landfill site, and that's going to be at bursting point in just 7 years' time. What we're doing is we're burying our rubbish in the ground. We're making huge big mounds, huge big hills, and we're simply covering it over with grass. And environmentalists say this isn't good enough. So this is what gasification is all about. And that, well, we take the rubbish back out again because it's products like these which are now going to be turned into steam, into a gas. And what can we do with that? Well, we can power our homes. So on a hot summer's day, well, we turn on the fan, there it goes. It's going to cool us all down, and we're going to know that the energy that's powering this has actually come from things like these. Chris.
Michael, it all sounds very good, but how much is it actually costing?
Yeah, we've had many people talking to us about that. Let's give you a few figures. £8 million, in fact, there we go. And that's how much it's going to cost just for the first year, just to get it up and run it for the first year. Now, we don't have any figures for the rest of the years following that. A lot of people have said that's quite a bit of money. Others have said it's okay. The government, they're going to be giving us £2.7 million, as with the £8 million there to get this thing up and running. Now, environmentalists have told us that basically it doesn't matter how much it costs, because at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're saving the environment. Chris.
Michael, very informative. Thank you very much indeed. A 43-year-old ride man has been arrested and bailed in connection with an indecent assault on the top deck of an island bus. The incident took place on board the No. 9 service between Newport and Ryde last Wednesday. According to police, a number of school pupils and students were on board the bus at the time as it left Newport bus station at either 3:40 or 3:50 that afternoon. Officers investigating the case say they're keen to speak to anyone that was on board the bus. If you think you can help, contact DS Julia Steele at Community Safety on 0845 045 4545 or call Crime Stoppers anonymously. A crew from Cowes Inshore Rescue were called to the aid of a yacht that was taking on water near to Gurnard this morning. The 31-foot yacht, Gypsy Star, was being sailed by a husband and wife who had only recently acquired the boat. The couple put out a distress call mid-morning to say the yacht was taking on water. The Cowes lifeboat raced to the scene and helped pump the water off the yacht, but couldn't find any reason why the water was being taken on board. The Coast Guard helicopter was also hovering overhead on standby. Once the water had been pumped out, the yacht continued to Lymington. Meanwhile, the Coast Guard helicopter India Juliet was involved in a second operation this morning after the tender for a fishing boat based at Ventnor had come adrift and was spotted capsized in Sandown Bay. Nobody was reported missing and an operation was carried out to recover the boat and return it to shore. A pensioner has admitted scamming £1.8 million in benefits using addresses in London, the South and on the Isle of Wight. 68-year-old Jean Hutchinson set up a secret office hidden behind a wardrobe containing thousands of filed documents. The pensioner scoured newspapers for people that had left the country to live abroad. She then used their identity to claim nearly every available state handout from pensions to job seekers' allowance. Payments had been sent to 8 core addresses, including one here on the Isle of Wight. Hutchinson of Sherland Road, Maida Vale, West London, originally said she was innocent. Yesterday, she admitted one count of conspiring with Ralph Dale, 63, of Halifax, West Yorks, to defraud the Department of Work and Pensions and other local authorities. A freshwater man appeared at Crown Court today on trial for the unlawful wounding of a 29-year-old man, leaving him critically ill in hospital last November. Leslie Stanley Pollington of Solent Gardens Freshwater pleaded not guilty to the incident when he appeared in court last month. On the 21st of November last year, a man was assaulted outside his home in an incident that left him with a serious head injury. The trial started today and the jury is expected to go out at lunchtime tomorrow and likely to return at the same day. The company behind plans to build a wind farm in the West Wight have indicated they'll announce on Friday whether they're going to appeal the decision by the Isle of Wight Council to reject the plans. Your Energy submitted plans to the council to build 6 giant turbines in the West Wight last year. However, in October, in front of a packed Medina Theatre audience, planning councillors refused planning permission, citing fears for wildlife and that the location was not suitable. The company has indicated an announcement will be made this Friday as to whether they will appeal the decision before the opportunity to do so ends later this month. We're taking a short break now, but still to come in the second half of Solent Tonight. We continue our look at the Isle of Wight teams competing at the World Island Youth Games in Corsica. Tonight we're in the pool with those swimming for glory. Join us after the break.